the last several years, we have seen an increasing recognition of a big concern, which is compromising the life of children, having a very negative impact on their health, and has also had a very high cost for society.
Look at these numbers. 85% of children experience on a regular basis a violent form of discipline at home.
The most constant word they use to describe their lives still today is fear. And we don't want our children to grow up with such a frightening atmosphere.
Law is a crucial way of changing social attitudes. Governments have to lead. They have to accept their clear human rights obligation to prohibit and eliminate violent punishment.
La meilleure méthode pour prévenir le phénomène, d'abord commencer par l'éducation de tous les partenaires et des enfants particulièrement. Une fois que l'enfant connaît ses droits, il pourra aller finalement en parler. Parce que actuellement, comme c'est un phénomène caché, c'est-à-dire qu'on ne peut pas intervenir si on n'a pas l'information que l'enfant est maltraité, qu'il continue à vivre dans des conditions très difficiles, on ne peut pas être utile à cet enfant.
It's very important to raise awareness and to be able to target some risk factors when it comes to violence against children, particularly child abuse, sexual abuse, and all those ill-treatment that children are facing in circles of trust.
Many children are victims of violence justified by cultural and religious norms, and yet social and religious leaders play an important role in challenging harmful practices. We need this, but we also need to inform parents and caregivers on the impact of violence on children and the role they play in their full, healthy and sound development.
Child protection is often overlooked as one of the key life-saving factors, and that is why we call upon UN member states and their partners to include child protection as a key element of the humanitarian response to conflict in the post-2015 agenda.
In Bangladesh, I have seen how children's club members are fighting against child marriage as well as physical and humiliating punishment at homes and schools. Due to the presence of children's organizations from grassroots to national level, children are able to do evidence-based advocacy on various issues very effectively.
Para poder lograr un resultado real y permanente, es necesario el involucramiento de todos los actores en forma coordinada, articulada y además logrando ir sistematizando lo que se va avanzando para poder sentir que se va dando pasos cualitativos en este proceso hacia el logro de los objetivos finales.
We do not have reliable, regularly collected administrative data on violence against children in all countries of the world. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing together with a number of partners is lobbying in the Statistical Commission of the UN.
A number of efforts on violence against children are fragmented, they're not institutionalized. Institution building is extremely important. Child protection systems that are consistent, that are cross-cutting, that do collaborate, that have the necessary funding are actually critical to address prevention, but also to address violence against children from happening on the ground.
have the treaties, we have the protocols. What we need now is implementation of all of this. And so in order to do that, we need large-scale mobilization of civil society.
Of course, prevention should be the first priority, but in cases where prevention is not possible, we have to focus on early, effective and unbureaucratic help for victims. Germany will certainly continue the fight against violence against children, and we are looking forward to doing this together with our international partners.
The National Code on Children and Adolescents, it was amended to establish that all adolescents and children are entitled to be educated and cared for without physical punishment or cruel or degrading treatment under any circumstance. Brazil considers that the right to live in a family, in a community environment is an essential condition to reduce children and adolescents' vulnerability to different forms of violence.
One of the key priorities of Slovenia is empowering children by educating them on their rights and by ensuring them access to justice.
So now we see a very strong consensus by governments in all regions to include as a key concern in the post-2015 agenda the protection of children from violence and the elimination of all forms of violence. We would like to make a very strong call for all governments and in fact all partners to join in this effort.
The Convention on the Rights of the Child indicates that children should grow up in an atmosphere of love. And in this regard, love is not a noun, it's a verb. It requires action. So what is needed from member states, all stakeholders, UN agencies and regional organizations and civil society organizations is actually to take the necessary action to prevent and address violence against children.